Welcome to the Purple Party, known as Purple Nerd Channel, home for all those who geek out on all things Prince related. Purple Rain the album was released on June 25th, 1984, with the film of the same name following the album on July 27th, 1984. Both projects were very successful, with the album hitting number 1 on the Billboard Top 200 and selling over 17 million copies on its initial release, while the film grossed over $70 million on a $7 million budget. When it came to the release of the album Purple Rain, it was and is still advertised as the soundtrack to the film Purple Rain. And yes, all 9 songs on this album do appear in the film, but this is actually an incomplete collection of all the songs that are actually featured in the film, as none of the songs performed by other artists were included, as well as songs recorded by Prince prior to the formation of the band The Revolution. According to Morris Day, lead singer of The Time and who appeared in the film Purple Rain, the songs performed by The Time were originally part of the soundtrack, but Prince removed them from the album, making Purple Rain the soundtrack a Prince and the Revolution album. So what if Warner Brothers actually released Purple Rain as a traditional soundtrack instead of a Prince and the Revolution album? So let's explore what Purple Rain, the original motion picture soundtrack, could have looked like if all the songs featured in the film were actually part of the soundtrack. Oh, and a side note, I'm talking about the songs that were featured in the film, not the film score, which I just recently found out was not composed by Prince, but composer Michael Colombier, who blends the musical notes in between the scenes and the songs in the film so flawlessly that I thought every note of music in this film had Prince's hands on it. Which I did find a complete compilation of the film score by composer Michael Colombier on YouTube, and I will have a link to that video in the description down below. So we open up the same way the film and the album opens up, and that is with the song Let's Go Crazy, but the extended mix that we actually hear in the film. Next would be Jungle Love by The Time. Followed by Take Me With You by Prince and the Revolution featuring Apollonia. Then we have Modernaire by Des Dickerson and the Modernaires. Next is Possessed by Prince, which plays in the background of one of the club scenes. Next is The Beautiful Ones by Prince. Followed up by When Doves Cry by Prince. Next would be Computer Blue by Prince and the Revolution. Next is Darling Nikki, but the original cut of the song with the additional lyrics and different ending, which doesn't feature the whole backward message. We would follow that up with Sex Shooter by Apollonia 6. Next is Lust You Always by Prince, which we get to hear a snippet of in one of the club scenes. Next is The Bird by The Time, but the studio version of the song, not the live version that we got on their album Ice Cream Castle. Then we have I Would Die For You by Prince and the Revolution. Then Baby I'm a Star by Prince. So now we need to start getting set up for closing the album out. So next would be Father's Song by Prince, which this song is heard in the film being played by the character the kid's father, portrayed by the late Clarence Williams III on the piano. Next would be the song God, the love theme from Purple Rain by Prince, which this song is played during the one love scene that we get between the kid and Apollonia. Well, I say the one because there was actually two, but until the estate decides to add the infamous barn scene back into the film, it's the one love scene that we get. Which leads us to Purple Rain by Prince and the Revolution. And finally closing out with Purple Rain, the instrumental by Prince, which is the melody being played by Wendy and Lisa in the film, and is also the song that's featured on the cassette that they give to Jill, who then gives to Prince, his character, the kid. Now then, doing some basic math, adding up the runtime of every single song I just mentioned, this would have had to been a double album. But even so, that should not stop this version of this album from being released. Matter of fact, they might as well release it as a triple album, having the full soundtrack that I just talked about, and also including with the release Michael Colombier's film score. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Please like and share this video, and if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel grow. And if you got a moment, go ahead and check out my Patreon page. I will have a link to that in the description down below. I will see you in the next episode where I talk about a Prince release that was more or less a failed experiment. And until that next episode, I wish you heaven.